Hello everybody on YouTube, this is Super Nintendo, and I decided to make a video to help educate the to help educate the masses on a topic that is honestly really dumb that I even have to do this. I'm going to help try to explain the differences between a remaster and a remake, because there is some confusion with a recently released game that I will not say by name, but there is some confusion with it, and apparently the video game community, the gaming community has long since needed a explanation on this. I mean, there's also people who don't know the difference between a remake and a port, which I probably will touch up upon, but without further ado, here we go. Now, I was talking with one of my... excuse me, burp. I was talking with a fellow gamer, and we were talking about a game that he tried to argue was a remaster. And he apparently provided a link that says that the game devs consider it a remaster as well. However, you can consider it whatever the fuck you want, but the actual definition of a remaster is you're taking the exact same thing, maybe just tweaking the exact same thing with the exact same assets, and just tweaking the visuals, maybe the sound development a little bit. You're just making it look slightly better and sound slightly better than the original. That's it. That's all a remaster is. Examples include games like the Sly Cooper HD trilogy. Which, if I can find some photos, I will put them on screen on here, but if not, that is what a remaster is. A remake is something that is taken, that you are trying to recreate something from the ground up for new hardware with new assets. The assets is the most important thing about this. For new assets, and to the point where, yes, it looks like the original, sort of, like the actual gameplay and whatnot, but in terms of everything, it is a completely different thing. Examples would be, say, what is it? Examples would be games like, for example, Ocarina of Time 3D, Majora's Mask 3D, the upcoming Samus Returns remake of Metroid 2, stuff like that. Even one of the games I'm Let's Playing right now, Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, is a remake of Kingdom Hearts. It is made from the ground up for new hardware. Even if it looks identical, if it is made from the ground up for new hardware, it is not a remaster, it is a remake. Now, as for ports, I've also seen people try to argue things like the GBA version of A Link to the Past and the Game Boy Color version of Link's Awakening are ports. They are not. They are remakes. A Link to the Past, for example, was made on the Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo. It was made on me. No, it was made on the Super Nintendo. You cannot port that to anything without tweaking it a little bit for the hardware. Like the Virtual Console, for example, that is a port. Actually, it's more like an emulation, but they had, even on the Virtual Console, they have to change up the game so it works on whatever hardware you're using it on. But it's not a remaster or a remake or even a port. Like I said, it's an emulation. And also, like the GBA version of Link to the Past even includes a brand new game with it. The original Four Swords. The Four Swords game that also has ties in with A Link to the Past. Gameplay wise, if you complete A Link to the Past, it unlocks a brand new dungeon in A Link to the Past GB. If you finish Four Swords, it unlocks a brand new dungeon in A Link to the Past GBA, and a couple of new other things. In Link's Awakening, they added color and a brand new dungeon. For A Link to the Past, it doesn't seem as big as what I'm making it, but it is in fact a remake by definition. So, I'm not going to beat around the bush anymore. The game we were talking about was Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. The game devs apparently consider it a remaster, but by all definition of the word, it is a remake. And I'm sorry to say this, but I am supremely pissed off the way that they handled Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I'm not saying it's hard. Like, a lot of reviewers apparently are comparing it to Dark Souls or something like that. And, like, it's not hard. It is a bullshit remake, having problems that the original game didn't even fucking have. At least when it came to Crash Bandicoot 1. At this time of recording, I have not played Crash 2 or 3 yet on the remake. And for all I know, maybe the remakes maybe the 2 and 3 don't have these problems. But and even if these problems were there, the purpose of a remake is actually to fucking remake something, but take away as many of the problems that the original had and make it better to the point where you don't even need to go back to play the original. Ocarina of Time, for instance, one of the problems with the original, the text scrolling was very fucking slow, to the point where I compare it to a Pokemon game, like the first generation Pokemon game. The frame rate was, I think, 30 frames per second. So it was kind of choppy, but I think it was good for its time. And on top of that, the remake, it sped up the text scrolling. It made it 60 frames per second. And on top of that, it added a brand new mode, the hero mode, or Master Quest, or whatever the fuck it's called, and sharpened the visuals and music, replaced a couple of tracks because whatnot, fixed a few models that could be seen as racist or something. And even kept in all the original glitches, but changed up how you can activate them. You can keep shit like that, but either make it something in the options menu or make it something you actually have to trigger. Gameplay wise, Ocarina of Time 3D is better than its original version in every conceivable way. Crash Bandicoot, on the other hand, at least when it comes to the first game, the original is far better than the remake in every conceivable way, aside from the fact that you can die. Like, the checkpoints actually fucking save your boxes now. And apparently people like to argue that in the original game, Crash had very slippery controls. That is not true. Crash did not have slippery controls. There was a delay in the button input lag. There was a button input lag. So, for example, if you are moving right and then you stop holding right, Crash will take a second to... will not stop immediately. That is indeed a problem, but it's very easy to work around. It's really easy to get to... Once you realize that, you can train yourself to let go of it a second earlier than you normally would. That is not an issue. I mean, yeah, it's a little annoying, but it's not something like, say, you jump on a platform and then you slide off of it or something and it kills you. Or something fucking stupid like that. Or hit detection. The hit detection in the remake is fucking jacked up. You can be killed by something that didn't even fucking touch you. Kind of the same problem I have with Xenoverse 2. But Xenoverse 2 is a new game. It is not a fucking remake. Xenoverse 2, it is annoying. But I can't say that there is a game with the exact same I can't say there is the exact same fucking game I can play that doesn't have this issue. I can say that for Crash. The fact that the remake does this shit is abysmal. You can fucking dislike this video because I said the Crash remake sucks. I say that because I love Crash, and I want there to be a really, really good Crash game. But you can't have that with bullshit deaths the original, when you died, it was your fault. It was your fault 100% of the time. When in the remake, half the time it's not even your fucking fault. You can't have the video games are, when you have a game that you die when it wasn't your fault, that is a sign that the game needs to be either fixed, recalled, so they can fix it. Or in the case that now we are in the future, where patches exist. If they patch it and fix this issue, great, this video is null and void. But until that happens, I am classifying the Crash 1 Insane Trilogy remake as a really, really shitty remake. Now, I love the visuals and audio stuff that Crash that they changed. I love it. It really, really fits. But the gameplay, the most important thing about a video game, the gameplay is glitched up the ass. And no game is without its glitches, I'm aware. But you can't have a game where you are dying from shit that isn't even the player's fault. Alright, I've rambled on long enough. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!